What are you doing?
Oh my
I
god.
don't even know what's going on.
Okay, Aries, here's your classic tarot torture for next week. And it's also timeless, so whenever you get this is good enough. Now, I'm kind of blown away already. Let me look at the time. Because you have, out of 5 cards, you have 4 major arcana. That means that there's a situation at play that's destined to go the way that it will, kind of like when situations are out of your hands, that there's some kind of divine order at play, or the way things are going to go, or the way things are going to go. That no matter what we do as humans, we really can't change the circumstances, the situations, the narratives around the major arcana. So for the theme, we have the freaking devil. So the devil is about greed. It's about being selfish. It's also a card that can talk about temptation, yes, but disregard for others. So you might be feeling subjectively that either someone is tempting you, or you feel tempted, or that you feel that someone's trying to control you. Okay, this is a card about being caught in an unhealthy situation, and that's the way you feel. These cards also, as major arcana, they do speak of a bigger picture, a bird's eye view, if you will. So this is also the card of sexual perversity and deep, dark secrets. So could be that someone is a sex addict. You know, this could be that you're spending too much money, just as simple as that. And it could be substance abuse. So think other people judging you. Other people judging you by your outward appearance or by your actions, the way that you're seen in the world. Now, the way that this theme is going to operate with the other major arcana is very interesting. So let's just get into it. This is going to be a short read. I'm recording these way early, so I don't know when you're going to actually see this, because for Friday night, I've got some plans and I want to get as many out there as I can. So now, as it relates to the challenge this week, we have the Chariot. Now, the Chariot upright as a challenge is interesting because it's success, confidence. This is the card of a victory over an illness if you haven't been feeling well. Maybe success, a victory over your enemy. So I believe that even though the devil's ideas about things prevail, that it looks like right off the bat as a challenge, doing the right thing is what you will be working with. Now, getting better or getting well, say that you are experiencing a substance abuse issue, and that is the theme. Well, the challenge would be getting better and going through it. But with, the Chariot, you can. This is a card that says that you can control yourself, that you can achieve your goals through self-control. Likewise, any of the other addictions, any of the other self-deprecating traits we might embody. So take some satisfaction here. This is a card of accomplishment, but again, this is a card that does have its own little caveat. So it's a card that could talk about arrogance as well. So, don't get too puffy in the chest if you're like, oh, I've got this, because you might find it gets more difficult as the week goes on. I'm not saying it's going to be a difficult week, but this is Mercury retrograde. So just make sure, I really feel something about this. Your reputation, the way you are seen, especially the devil with the Chariot, watch for that. Now, with the Lover's card for your finances, there seems to be money spent on beautifying your physical environment. You know, this is interesting as well because the Lovers is a card of choice and temptation. So overall, we could see how the cards are working together, and it's as if everything that you're going to be dealing with seems to somehow hinge on temptation, on lower chakra energies in terms of sexuality. Because the Lovers is also a card of lust. There's no denying that. This is also the card for some of you that are too attached to your family of origin, that maybe you are too attached, because this is the card where biblically you are to cleave unto your wife. You see what I'm saying? You can apply that both ways. So it doesn't mean that you ignore your family. You don't disrespect your family or disrespect your parents in that. Separating doesn't have to mean that you never see them again. You have the same relationship with them, good old Uncle Bob at the table and whatever else you do on Thanksgiving. I don't know why Thanksgiving is significant. Um, this is the card of good times. So again, if we're dealing with any kind of addictive or codependent behavior, it's showing up that a decision must be made. For your romance, we have the Hierophant. So the Hierophant is awesome because here we're talking about being disciplined and following the rules, even if it requires teamwork. For example, if your challenge is about getting along with people and the temptation with the devil is that you would really want to give somebody the bird and say, just get out of my way, get off my back. This is a card that's saying that teamwork makes the dream work. This is a card that also indicates that you should choose a more moral path, like you pull out and use your moral compass. The only thing that makes me feel a little bit weird about this is that this is the card that indicates a person might try to conform to society. And it's not that conforming is a bad thing. It's just that this would be the card that indicates almost bowing down to it, not being yourself because, like, let's say you come from a particularly religious family or a very militarized family or a particular culture where they shove it down your throat, like I'm not going to pick on any particular culture, but where in days of old they used to really choke the books down the kids' throat and they only got love or a hug if they got an A+ on everything. So, this is a card that would concern me a little bit there because you could be tempted to make a choice moving forward to conform, and conforming in such a way that I always use the analogy of shipbuilding, in that, yes, wood is bent and forced to conform to the shape required, but to keep it there, you have to have the boards and the wood screwed down, otherwise really locked into place. And sooner or later, the boards in the ocean will always try to return to their previous forms, their natural forms. Same thing that happens like when you've had some kind of a vessel in the water forever. I mean, let's not go with fiberglass, but you know what I'm saying? It'll happen with all of them. The decay will happen. Once it's in the water, everything's fine. As long as you've gotten the water, it's going to be fine. But remove it from the water for an extended period of time, like to do maintenance, and then you'll see that it just really starts to show the decay. So now for the solution, how you should handle this week, we have the Nine of Wands. And in the Nine of Wands, this is where you could be feeling defensive. But as a solution, I think this card is talking about really defending your position. Like if somebody says, oh, you're never going to beat your addiction, you're like, yes, I am. And I will defend my position because I can do this. If the angle is that your situation involves a medical diagnosis or diagnoses that people around you, the group or the team, is saying, oh, no, 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 do this, 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 and this, or do or don't do what the doctor and the medical professionals say. And you will have to stand up for what you believe and to make sure that your choices are set, that no one can change them for you. So let's look at this in summary. I think that temptation is obviously going to be the big issue this week. And, it could be about making a choice that involves anything that would tempt you to conform or tempt you toward perversion. The world is full of a lot of different choices for every perversion under the sun. I'm not saying that everybody's perversion is going to be sexual and that, you don't have a bunch of people, trying to get help from going to the nudie bar, which, to each his own. But there are so many things happening. So let me look at a couple of oracles. For each sign, I've picked a few oracles. I didn't pick them yet so much as I took the deck and I split it into pieces just for sake of speed. So we've got everyone hates a light worker until they need one. Picnic outside, it's starting to rain. So that would talk about tears. And, of course, this could be that you're the light worker and people are hating on you because you help others work through their different compulsions. And I know I can't even, let me set it aside. I don't know if I'm going to read that. I've got the for rent sign. So it could be that you're looking to rent or you're, looking to rent out, make good choices. We are Mercury retrograde. I'm not going to get into that whole thing right now because we don't have time. I also have the jumbo jet. Let it carry you back to correct the past. So there could be some healing in the past that will help you affect this dominance over the devil. And it's okay to stand alone. Was there something else back here? I thought dinner was at 6. Communication issues. Maybe that's for me. What time is it? Okay, so, and this was the one, I think I'm going to read it just because it'll bring some levity, and this is freaking ridiculous. Denture cleaner. Someone is retired or partially retired. All right, Aries, that's what I've got for you. I've got some more coming up for you that you will be able to see scheduled within the next couple of days. And even when I'm away, there's always going to be something that's going to be up on the screen for you. So just remember, with Major Arcana, there's something really big happening here, some big life change, some big life stage. And what you need to do is really, with the solution card, stand your ground. Take good care. Dentures.
Ma fede fulmine e le tuone.